What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus. We got my brother AB in the building. Say what up, AB.
Hey, yo.
And y'all know what it is. We got our other brother, our favorite hater from the Golden State. That boy Hot Take Jay. What's happening, baby? Man.
What up?
So, before we get started, I just want to show y'all something. Y'all know what it is. Check out them waves.
I was gonna say, we've seen enough of your five head.
No, check out them waves. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a back shot so y'all see how serious it is.
Hey, man, you gotta lay your Huey, Dewey, and Louie down back there, man. It's kind of sticking up.
Hey, them waves going so hard, it's even waves in my fade right here. Boy. Anyway, hey, if y'all looking at the podcast, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment in the comment section, and make sure y'all turn on the bell notification so that y'all are getting the updated video post whenever we put something out. And if your conversation ain't whack, we might bring you on to the show and talk about what you guys want to discuss. So let's get into the next topic. We were discussing the latest NBA champions, the Los Angeles Lakers. And AB was openly wondering if the Lakers would possibly repeat this year. I want to get his understanding of that. Where do you stand on that? Do you think that they would repeat this year?
No, hey, let me rephrase that. Aaron, if you had $10,000 and you had to go drop it on a winner.
There you go.
Right now, who are you putting it on?
Who are you putting it on? You can't get the money back. No refunds.
Nobody. Yo, listen. You know what? To be honest with it, I'm dropping it on the Brooklyn Nets. I actually think this is as open as it could possibly be right now. I don't think that there's any team in the West for sure. I don't think any team. I think I actually think the champion may come out the East this year. If the Lakers,
who would you drop it on?
Brooklyn.
The Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, so
you remember about a month ago when he was poo-poo in the Brooklyn Nets?
Well, can I explain myself?
That free agent acquisition that you was talking about hasn't happened.
Attacked. Listen,
nothing's material to change for Brooklyn.
There were questions on whether or not they would fit the moodiness and all that kind of stuff about Brooklyn. And right now, it ain't because I think Brooklyn is so hot. I think they are one big man acquisition away, and if Drummond get bought out, there you go. It's not that I think they're so hot. I just think that all the rest of the teams are missing stuff.
Yeah.
And the Lakers, listen, I think it's going to be Brooklyn and LA, the Lakers, coming out of the East and the West respectively. And I think the Lakers are going to come out by default because the Clippers failed to get a point guard. Let's waste $64 million. Is it 64, right? On Luke Kennard. Let's waste that on Luke Kennard, who averaged 8 a game with 2 assists, instead of go get a point guard. And because of that, the Lakers might come out by default. I'm not buying the Utah Jazz. I'll never buy the Utah Jazz.
as long as Rudy Gobert is there.
Never.
Jay, before you get started, let me go at him a little bit real quick.
Please. Handle this light work.
Go at me.
This is a point.
What y'all think?
This is a point of pride, and don't interrupt me this time, boy. You interrupted me so bad the last time. I wanted to put your microphone on mute. But so I would just like to take this moment to just brag about how right I was and how wrong you were. That how far the Brooklyn Nets would go. I said that they would at least make it to their conference finals, and you said not a chance in Hades. That's not your exact words. Don't interrupt me, boy. I'm talking.
You just asked me a question. That was pre-James Harden.
No, that was a rhetorical. That was a rhetorical question because I know what you said. That was a rhetorical. That was a rhetorical question. No, this was okay. Yeah, it was pre-James Harden, but how much even more so with James Harden? So no, don't give me that. No, because they were still gonna do their thing even if James Harden wasn't there. KD and Kyrie was still gonna make noise and at least go to the conference finals.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, Marcus.
It ain't. It ain't.
Can I
happened.
interject?
It ain't happened yet. I ain't done. Big brother is talking. I ain't done. I ain't done. Y'all boys be running the podcast.
Well, stand up then.
And I'll be silent and letting y'all finish y'all point. Y'all gonna let me finish my point. So I just want to rub it in your face a little bit and just tell you, now you siding with me. Congratulations for coming over to the right side. I ain't never have no doubt that the Brooklyn Nets in the East was gonna be the ones that's making noise. Welcome to my side.
I don't believe it.
Marcus, can I have a wager?
My argument.
Can I have a wager? Can you?
I'll
give you some odds. No, we don't. We ain't talking about money.
Yeah,
we ain't talking about money.
Go ahead. You want me to cut my waves off?
Brooklyn or the field in the East? Brooklyn or the field? I'll even give you some odds.
Brooklyn.
I'll even give you some odds.
Brooklyn.
I
don't understand because I don't.
We can tangibly do.
Because I don't bet. I don't understand all of that stuff. I'm just betting that Brooklyn is going to be the one to come out the East.
I'd be lying if I said I knew the exact team. And I'm not jumping the other side. I bashed Brooklyn too. I was right there with Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing I've seen,
I remember,
has told me that it's fixed or set in stone. Now, I will say that I'm like, ooh, early returns that they're probably going to get to the second round, and may potentially win the second round. But in the end, they still haven't rounded out the rotation. They still don't have an answer for Joel Embiid.
Yep.
Or Giannis. And not only that, it was diminishing returns for all three of them. But they've only played like 6 games together. And it's not all when you talk about how much of the pie is there for James Harden and Kyrie in a 48-minute game, there's more than enough for all three of them. But what is going to happen when all three of them are on the court? Then they're going to play a competent team like Milwaukee or Philly or Boston or Miami. And when they do, they're going to force these dudes, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn.
No.
And when their efficiencies and their defense is not good enough and they start getting adversity, that's when I want to hear about Kyrie and James Harden and all this sympathetic
I'm responding to him.
Harmony and love. Space. That's when I want to hear about
Give me some space, please.
When Kyrie is clearly the third rung, I bet you he's a sour loser, boy. And that's PG rated for what I really want to say.
Let me
the third rung. Now
all right.
Tell me, Aaron. I'm tripling down.
No, Aaron ain't talking. I'm gonna give me some space. Here's the thing. I think as the season goes on, I think how easy y'all forget how bad Kevin Durant is in the playoffs. Unstoppable in the playoffs.
He wasn't unstoppable when they blew that 3-1 lead to Golden State.
Unstoppable, and the KD is going to be unstoppable in the playoffs.
The only
thing that KD
are James Harden and Kyrie going to be doing while he's being unstoppable?
They're icing on the cake. Kevin Durant
standing in the corner as icing on the cake. Pissed off because I should be getting touches.
Whatever
icing on the cake.
Whatever.
James gonna have the ball.
I'm not done talking. Whatever that they're gonna be doing is gonna be icing on the cake for what Kevin Durant is gonna do. Trust and believe KD gonna take over in the playoffs if he's healthy. I'll say that because that's the only way that they're gonna stop the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant. I don't care who Giannis. I don't care if it's Embiid.
When I bet on them I bet against them, injury is a part of it. That's when you get to the bottom line and you say, did they get to the finals or not? You got $110 million in 3 players.
If they get injured, I may
concede. So when one gets hurt and you got $90 million in 2 players and you got $10 million on 10 players. If they
get injured, I will concede. If they go into it healthy, best believe it's gonna be.
But injuries are a possibility.
I'm telling y'all right now, they could lose Kyrie. If James Harden and Kevin Durant are healthy throughout the playoffs, then they will be there to be in that Eastern Conference Finals.
I argue
Marcus completely twisted my argument around. I said Kevin Durant and Kyrie and Irving would not be enough, and I still don't think they're enough. And even with James Harden and added into the mix, right now they look like the favorites, but they are. And I said I wouldn't pick nobody if you gave me $10 million to put on somebody. They look like the favorites right now, but they're not definitive because they need to shore up the middle. And if they don't, Joel Embiid, just like you just said, Jason, and Giannis would be a problem.
They would eat their lunch.
So they have to shore it up.
He's a plus defender, but if DeAndre Jordan, for whatever reason, fouls, stamina, just ain't got it. When DeAndre Jordan is not a factor for one of 5 different reasons, and KD has to be that guy in the middle, I'm sorry. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I'm saying it ain't definitive. But y'all done twisted this from this was supposed to be a Lakers discussion. Oh right? Yeah, it was. Well, we got some.
No. It said no. The discussion was you think that the Lakers would repeat, and if not, who do you think was going to be there? And you said Brooklyn Nets.
Well, I mean, I also want to discuss the Lakers in this too.
Well, if they ain't gonna repeat, then they ain't worth discussing.
I mean, what y'all thinking? Well, if they're not gonna, who's coming out the West? Who do y'all see coming out the West?
I think that they've been immortalized because, they got a title, and all of a sudden Anthony Davis comes into the next season as the second rated highest player in the league,
right?
Which is like what gets lost is when a basketball game ends 120 to 118. I read the post game, and everything is geared towards the victors, and everything negative is geared towards the losers. But the game was 120 to 118. Mm-hmm. Everything didn't go one way or the other, right? And with Anthony Davis, dude, I look at the status that he's eclipsed, the contract that he's got, and I think it adds more complacency to him. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to enable him to coast and go through the motions. And when they hit adversity, bro, I'm telling you, Dennis Schroeder was a good pickup, but how they just went all of a sudden to just immortal. No, I'm sorry. And it ain't the Jazz that's going to take them out, but the Clippers.
I don't think they're immortal.
But people talk about them like they just hands down favorites.
Yeah, but it's the intimidation factor. You can't leave that out either. That they were the champions. They have LeBron James. They have AD. When the rubber meets the road, then you might. It's like the Raptors going up against LeBron James. You can have them cornered. Yeah, you can have him cornered, and then he still, for some reason, can overcome you mentally. He didn't beat you.
Hey, you know what in boxing what they call the lineal champ? You know what that is?
What?
The lineal champ is the man who beats the man who beats the man who beats the man, right? When Muhammad Ali lost his title, he didn't really lose. He had that whole Vietnam War draft, can't box professionally, right? Mm-hmm. Tyson Fury, the most recent one, never actually lost. I don't know what his issues were. Yeah. But what I'm going to is the Warriors. Yeah. And we the lineal champs, baby. We got that swag.
I knew it was something.
we the champs that we lost to injury, but Steph.
Y'all not even in the discussion.
Let's
be serious. All right, serious discussions only. Hot take, Jay. Who, if it ain't the Lakers coming out the West, who is it?
If it ain't the Warriors, then I think the Clippers are ripe. I think the Clippers are ripe. They're motivated, and they have the ability to capitalize on a wounded dog. And if the Lakers, got an injury-riddled AD and Marc Gasol ain't what they thought he was, which is a side conversation because Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, like they just pushed him out the door. And Dennis Schroeder was the 1+ move, in my opinion. Everything else, either bad money or, I didn't like Montrezl Harrell at all. Check the tape.
I like Montrezl for the value that they got him at. The bad part is
Montrezl on 2 years, $9 million a year versus JaVale McGee at 5. and then go spend that $9 million somewhere else.
That's what I was about to say. I like
it's
Montrez.
all in the aggregate.
Montrez is not a problem. The problem was that they let both Dwight and JaVale go. That's the problem.
Well,
they had to keep one of them.
No. If they had kept JaVale McGee and then they signed Marc Gasol, would you have a need for Montrezl Harrell? Or the opportunity cost?
Yes, completely different players.
No.
Yes.
You go spend that money on the perimeter, bruh.
Man, listen, they need somebody to step in when he ain't the same type of player as Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis gonna miss time. LeBron gonna miss time. Montrezl Harrell at $9 million for 2 years is never a bad deal. Even if you're just gonna turn around and trade Montrez. That contract is too good for the amount of money and all that stuff that was handed out this year for me to ever criticize that one. That's not the move I'm criticizing. There's some other stuff that they left out, but Montrez being on it ain't it. Is he the greatest? Nah, but he's a productive.
Give me JaVale McGee back at $4 million that they traded away. Give me JaVale McGee and let me go spend that $9 million elsewhere. I will maintain that was the play.
Marcus, what's your thoughts?
And they snuffed it up.
I think
I don't get exploited.
I don't think it's going to be Golden State come out the West. I think it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers or the Clippers to come out of the West. And surprise would be Utah. But I think it's going to be one of those two teams.
Denver is better than Utah.
Don't ever say that. Denver's better than Utah. Way better. Utah would never. First of all, I'm never giving Utah props. I hate them. I'll never give them props.
Tell them how the story ends.
Denver, they down there with the Golden State Warriors.
Hey, what is it? March 2nd. Tell them how the Utah Jazz story ends, Aaron.
This story ends with Donovan Mitchell trying to play hero ball and Rudy Gobert not being good enough being played off the floor. And if they keep him on the floor, they'll be losing those minutes when he on the court.
I can see that, but that's why I said either Los Angeles Clippers or the Lakers. The surprise would be Utah.
I'm going to say this. So because we start off asking, do I think the Lakers can repeat? I think they have a chance to get out to repeat just because I don't think that no other team in the West is going to be good enough to beat them. So they'll be in the championships with an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So let's start there, right? The sad part is they don't have the big man to take advantage of Brooklyn. If Brooklyn is the team that comes out. Because they didn't sign a big man, a real big man. And the Clippers would be perfectly positioned had they just signed.
It's not over though. It's not over for them.
If they have the trade deadline or the buyouts, then we have a new discussion. But
side note,
that happens.
I don't know if y'all noticed, my man Lonzo Ball shooting 40% from 3 on the season.
I hadn't noticed. I more noticed his brother balling than him. So
hey, you know what? It's so funny. It's like the difference is night and day.
It's crazy.
I thought of an analogy between the two, but it's so crazy. But Lonzo's still no slouch though.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for watching the Hoopz Junkiez Podcast. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Also, if you want to check out a few more clips, make sure that you hit the bell notification so that you're alerted whenever we post a new video.